if you're thinking that you're super talented, if you feel that you got loads of skills and you're just not using them in the best way possible, and you want to change the world in a better way, then Clive is going to be sharing some wonderful tips and insight into the Rotary Club in this area. Welcome, dear Clive. Thank you for joining us today. Global Namaste to you.
Global Namaste to you, honey, and thank you for having invited me. Now, I'm sure that what I'm going to say today has probably been said already this afternoon, but it does no harm in echoing and supporting what my colleagues have already said.
Oh, let me because we have many different people from all over the world joining us from different parts of the world. Some people watch the first half of the program sometimes, because some people watch the second half of the program. So we always have new audiences are watching. So don't worry, even if you feel that you're repeating it, no problems whatsoever, because we could have many new audiences watching us and tuning in right now. So thank you. So let me do a bit of an introduction about you before I start, dear Clive, because of course you have a very interesting background too, and you were also a magistrate, right? We're going to be able to share that with the world now. So Clive Amos was born and raised in Colchester. He was a senior manager in the NHS before retirement and a magistrate for nearly 25 years. That can tell you already what kind of gentleman this wonderful man is. Now, Rotary International is a global organization of over 1.2 million members in nearly 200 countries and geographical regions. And it's made up of all people from all diverse backgrounds, all race, all creeds, and all, of course, orientations, dedicated to providing humanitarian service in their home countries and, of course, abroad. Members organize fundraising events to support a vast range of projects, but also give their time and talents. And because I would say Clive is been in the Rotary organization for almost 40 years or more, we are going to be talking to a very experienced gentleman who's really been working within the Rotary and seen it develop. And he's got some great tips that he's going to be sharing with us today. He has been a Rotarian for 45 years and has held appointments at all levels of the organization. He has taken part in many activities, including helping to feed the lonely and destitute, collecting items for food banks, helping immigrants with their English language skills, and of course to organize regional and national conferences to inspire Rotarians. And he's an amazing mentor for me as well, because I'm part of his committee there. Now, today we'll be discussing his work as a chairman of the membership committee and share with us the range of activities that new members can participate in, as well as share some insight into the types of appointments he has been blessed to get involved in within Rotary. So welcome, and Clive, we're so looking forward to hearing what you have to share with the rest of us today about the work of Rotary. 45 years, wow. Did the time go really fast, or does it? Well, it must feel like 45 years has gone just like that, right?
Well, I think anything in life, certainly when you get to my age, you think it's gone pretty fast. I
thought you must be having so much fun. That's why.
No, it was extraordinary. When I was invited to join Rotary in February 1977, I looked around and I said, "Oh, this is a great organisation to join, but I'll just be an ordinary member in the background, as it were. I won't get involved with anything very much." Never say never. You never know where things are going to take you. And I always say to people, if somebody says to you, "Do you think you can do X or Y?" Well, providing you've got the time, you think you've got the time to do it, say yes, because you never know where it will take you. You never know what opportunities it will open up. If you say no, well, nothing is going to happen. But by saying yes and not necessarily knowing how you're going to do it or where it's going to go, you open up so much in life, and it can become really exciting and really interesting.
Well, very wise words, extremely wise words. That is, that is absolutely, I totally agree with that. And it's a very good wise words there. And they also say that if you try something, you may fail 50%, but you may succeed 50%. But if you don't try at all, then 100% you failed already before even starting, right? So it's really important. Now, I just wanted to ask, Clive, you've been involved in the Rotary Club for a very long time. But could you share with us, why do you think it's so important for an organization such as Rotary to be in this world?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know, as we all heard, they're doing such impactful work, but why is it so important for someone, an organization like Rotary to be there?
Yes. As I say, I'm sure I'm probably reflecting what some of my colleagues have said earlier, but we all know and we all see on our televisions, on our news items, and on the stuff that is fed to us by social media, all the humanitarian needs that there are around the world today. They are tremendous. The great thing about Rotary is a very large organization in nearly 200 countries with over 1.2 million members, and in 36,000 Rotary clubs, that we can reach out and we can give that humanitarian service across the globe should it be needed. We always work, whatever we do, we always work, if we're working internationally, with Rotary clubs in those areas. And we do that to ensure, A, that what has been asked for is really needed, because there have been so many instances over the years that people well-meaning have raised money for all sorts of things that have been, when they've gone on site, are really not appropriate. So we always check that out. And then we always say to people, okay, if we raise funds for this, if we help with this, will you supervise it and make sure it's spent properly and it does? And we do that with the Rotary clubs, and we can do that, as I say, in about 200 different countries. So that's one good reason why we need a large international organization that can give humanitarian service.
Wow, that's really true, because we don't even see the engine, the huge engine that's behind everything, because we may just say Rotary. But Rotary, like you said, it's got this many, almost 40,000 clubs, 36,000 clubs. It's got this many members, 1.2 million members. It's a huge, and you've got friends already. You can even do business networking with them. You can, work on causes and charitable projects with them. So many things can be done together, collectively. Very good point. Yes, absolutely. And also, there was another thing that I was thinking about as well. You've been involved in the Rotary for 45 years. That's a long time. The experiences, you must have learned lessons along the way. You may have met some amazing people, or even worked on causes that you really care about. Is there anything in particular that stands out for you, or a couple of things that really stand out for you for this 45 years of Rotary contribution? I mean, I have to congratulate you, but I have to also, before you say to me, a big, huge congratulations. That's service, complete, full, selfless service. And I just want to say, very well done. Congratulations. Really, really honored to know people like yourself.
One thing, honey, people tend to overlook. We say the motto of Rotary is service above self, and we are there to give humanitarian service. But what people do not often realize is that in joining Rotary, in participating in Rotary, we get so much back ourselves. I have been to places, I have done things, and I have met people that I never would have done if it hadn't have been for Rotary. My own personal self-development is quite amazing. If I could just share this with you. When I was about 18 or 19, I was pretty socially awkward and fairly inarticulate. Over the years, I have developed through Rotary. I have lost count now of the number of speeches that I've made to different Rotary clubs, to different organizations, which if you'd seen me at 18 and 19, you would have thought was totally impossible. It would never have happened. It has given me the chance to visit so many countries. I've been to Canada, the United States, Argentina, Malaysia, and all European countries for Rotary events. And you talked about friendship. You can go to any one of the 36,000 Rotary clubs. You're entitled to go as a Rotarian if they're regular meetings, and you will be greeted as a friend. And that is quite amazing. And if you ever need any help or support, if you're in a foreign country, it's there immediately. You have nothing to fear. That's one of the tremendous things that certainly I have got out in it. I've been involved in lots of things. You no doubt you will have heard earlier this afternoon about Rotary's polio eradication campaign.
Yes.
Well, to I've never had the pleasure of actually delivering immunisations, but to greater or lesser extent, I've been involved with it since it started. And it's amazing to see how what we have done in those years, how we've managed. I won't go over what will have been said earlier this afternoon, but it's amazing to see what we have achieved. That's one of our greatest achievements. But you know, it's not necessarily just the big things. It's the little things that make a difference. What we do, the ability to take disabled and elderly people to their social events, on shopping trips, take them out for days, it makes a tremendous difference to them. The things that we do with Kids Out every year to help underprivileged children and the impact that it has upon them. Those small things are just as valuable, in my view, as the very large things that we do. In fact, when people ask me, what does Rotary do? I said, well, we do everything about taking people out on shopping trips and various things, to ridding the world of polio and everything else in between. It is tremendous, the scope, what Rotary can do. It is quite amazing.
Yes, I realized, that you could have the most, rare type of an interest, thinking, oh, I want to help this cause, I want to help this, or this particular type of butterfly, let's say, which is to stop letting it go extinct or something. You'll still find a committee in your, network, just say, oh yeah, we can help you with the endangered species, we can help you with that. And you think, what? Where did you find that? So it's really amazing. I can see that, definitely. And that's a really good point, what you also mentioned about a very nice, good experience that you've had over the years that you mentioned. And I'm sure that every single person who stayed for 20, 30 years in Rotary would probably share that same stories like you, because that's the reason they would continue being there, because they enjoy it so much. And there are lots of people as well, I feel, Clive, that who really want to make this world a better place, and they really do, but they don't. I mean, how can they start? Or if they joined Rotary, what are the tips you can give them that, look, they've got this big huge cause that really want to get involved, or may just want to help women empowerment or something? It doesn't matter. It's just a cause that they want to help. What tips can you give those people?
Well, I always say to all new members, and I've been interviewing prospective members this week. I was doing it yesterday, I'm pleased to say. And I always say to all the new members, please come along with your ideas. If you see something, that you see a need that you think Rotary could fulfill, don't be reluctant. Even though you've only been a member for 2 weeks, your views are just as valuable as those who've been a member for 20 years. You can give us new ideas. You can bring new blood to our organizations. You can infuse us. And you just need to speak up and say, look, I've had this idea. And I wonder if I can just put this point in as well. Doesn't matter whether you're young or whether you're old. In one of my previous Rotary clubs, we had a member who was in his 90s. And he would say, I think we should do X, Y, and Z. And you expected that's where it would stop. And if we thought it was a good idea, we'd say, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. He said, right, I'll do something about it. And he did. And he was in his 90s. I mean, it is amazing what Rotarians can do. Never write anybody off. Don't say they're too old or too young or anything. Everybody, there are so many people out there who want to contribute and will do, give them half a chance.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed, with what you said just now as well, Rotarians tend to be very big-hearted. They're very welcoming, very inclusive, they don't have judgments and things like that. They're very open to diversity, etc.
Yes.
And yes, and really welcoming and appreciating each other's differences, actually, rather than seeing it as a problem. So that's something I have to also say, well done to the whole organization, that they've got this culture there of everybody being very open and being themselves and feeling very happy. Everybody's very, very happy when they come to Rotary, because I think you meet other very nice, like-minded people there. And I just also wanted to ask that there are a lot of people very, very skilled, very talented, have lots of knowledge, maybe real experts in their field. What kind of opportunities could you perhaps, as a new member's chair, be able to advise them about that? Look, how they can use these skills and talents.
Well, apart from using them in our club and using to help organisations in the community. I mean, you mentioned that I was a magistrate for nearly 25 years. I only did that because of the encouragement by my fellow Rotarians who were magistrates. I hadn't thought of doing that. And, you know, they kept on at me and they kept encouraging me. So I eventually applied. And I also helped for 16 years with an organisation that provides accommodation. It's not a care home, it's not a residential homes or nursing homes for elderly people. Because having worked in the working in the NHS, helping to run hospitals, I fully understood how you had to run various organisations. But Rotary has also got what are called action groups. And it's not just in your own club, that they are across the world. And they cover the 7 areas of Rotary's focus. It's promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water and sanitation, saving mothers and children, growing local communities, supporting education, and the latest one, number 7, is protecting the environment. Now, there are action groups in every one of those categories across the world that you can join with people who are taking action to achieve all the various objectives. I won't read them all out. We would be here for another 10 minutes if I did that, just me reading the list, so I won't do that. Yeah. But there is plenty of opportunities. And we also have got professional groups. There's a Rotary doctors group that go out and give their services in the developing countries, and dentists. And if you're an accountant, you can help various charitable organizations who often find they struggle with their various returns and things. I've seen that happening. I've seen Rotarians who are accountants helping different organizations. There are so many things you can do, so many opportunities. All you need to do is say, hey, I'm interested, how do I find to do this? And I can tell you, in Rotary, there will be a place for you to go to work there.
Wow, that's really powerful, isn't it? Can you imagine how many different areas there are in the whole of Rotary that you could be placed in any place that there is? There's always something for you to be connected to, which is amazing. Isn't that great? And, you know, I also had this one last question here, Clive. I know we're coming to the end of our time, you know, because we've got our next interview with Rajiv, who's going to be talking to us a little bit more about these scholars and all the awards, and of course the foundation that he's a chair of. But, you know, could you tell me, maybe to finish off with that, you know, if somebody was interested in becoming a member of the Rotary Club, and what is the process they have to go through? What is it that they would have to?
Yes, let me tell you, at one time when I joined, the only way you join is if an existing Rotarian invited you to join. There was no other way of doing it. Now, with social media and with our website, I get many, yes, I really do get many expressions of interest in joining Rotary. Some of them are suitable for our club, some I point to other clubs, but basically get in touch via our website with me. I will send you an information sheet telling you about Rotary, because not everybody fully understands it, and telling you about our club. And then if you say, yeah, I'm interested, then we go through the application process, and I will have a talk with you. We will talk about what your aspirations are, what you expect from Rotary, see if that is really what you want to do, and then we take it forward and we give it to our executive body to approve it, and then just see if any of our members have got the objection. And I say this now, never have I known anybody object to anybody joining, and I'd be most upset if they did. So yeah, get in touch with us, and we will always welcome people of all ages, of all ethnicities, of all political persuasions, of all faiths and no faiths. We are a very inclusive organisation. We welcome everybody. No, I will repeat what I said at the beginning, because I always think it's worth saying. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life to accept the invitation to join Rotary. And I would urge everybody, if you are invited or if you'd like to join Rotary, please do. It will make an enormous beneficial difference to your life.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Clive.